On June 24th, 51.9% of the British people voted to leave the European Union. For the other 48.1% in the Remain camp, the decision was hailed as a day of despair. British immigrants living in Florence and Tuscany are firmly against the UK leaving the EU. Their reaction is an indescribable cocktail of fear, shame, anger, shock, and helplessness. 66,000 Brits live in Italy, and their future, as non-Europeans, as extracomunitari, now appears very uncertain. We asked some British expats living in Florence for their reactions.
Initial reaction was shock, sadness, and actually grief. I feel as if I've lost a part of myself, and I feel as if, in part, my country has betrayed me.
I'm very surprised and shocked and disappointed.
My initial reaction is probably what a million people's are, which is anger, disbelief, all those emotions.
I'm just devastated, really.
My first reaction was complete bewilderment.
At first, I guess it was a kind of a disbelief thing, and the same thing with reactions from family back in the UK, family down in Rome as well. And just actually sadness that I feel so fortunate to have been welcomed so warmly into a community here by people from all over the world. Italians first of all, but people from other countries as well. And
I'm upset to start with. I'm surprised. I really wasn't expecting this at all. And I know everyone's been saying that, but from the beginning, I had faith that they would vote to stay in. And of course, I couldn't vote myself. So I really had no control, no say in it. And that was very frustrating as well, not to be able to have my own say.
My partner said, it's leave, don't you? And I said, yeah, whatever, don't be silly, you can't joke, it's my birthday. He said, check the news, so I did, and I just stopped and froze for...
I still feel in a lot of shock because I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what's going to happen next.
I don't have Italian citizenship. I thought I was a European citizen, so I never bothered changing my passport, and I had no reason to change my passport. I don't know that I'm here forever. I was born in Britain. I've still spent more of my life in Britain than I have abroad, and I can't vote.
I can see the potential disintegration of the EU as well, because other countries are following suit. Scotland already wants another referendum, and I think England and some still thought of it as we are the British Empire, but that has long since gone.
But I guess your initial reaction to all these things is to look at yourself and to worry about your own position, but actually after a few days you become less worried than perhaps you were initially. It's the sort of the dread of the questura, which up to now for us Brits has been something which we simply haven't had to countenance. You hear all these horror stories, and it's not something you look forward to. But again, from an entirely selfish point of view, I think I'm not. In the end, I think I don't own any assets here. I don't own a house. I don't own an apartment. So from that side of it, but I just think it's really sad. I think in a practical level for British people here, in the end, I don't think it's going to be so bad. It's really on an abstract, on an intellectual level that the message we're sending out as English people to the rest of the world, as British people to the world, I think is something that is so petty and small-minded, and that's something I just feel very, it's just really sad. You don't recognise the message that's coming out of your own country.
But really what's upsetting to me, more than the vote itself, is the aftermath of what's happening. Throughout Europe, honestly. So I think it's much broader, basically, than what we see here.
To be worried about my future at the moment, I can't, because it's too uncertain. I can't be specific and say I'm worried about this aspect or that aspect. A bit embarrassed about my country, yeah. Quite a lot of shame going down there, yep.
I've had so many people these last few days consider us a bit of a laughing stock, which is rather embarrassing. But, I love living here, but I love being British. And I think to separate the two is just ridiculous.
If it came to a situation about visas also, I'm 33, so a lot of times you have to be under 30. I mean, I don't even know.
I'm on my year abroad, so I've done the Erasmus exchange, and a lot of people now won't get this Erasmus grant, which, if I hadn't had it, would have been nearly impossible for me to come abroad and have this amazing, life-changing experience.
I'm still grateful every day for the warmth of the welcome, the way that people have made me feel part of this community. And that nothing's actually changed. You get teased every day, extracomunitario and all this kind of stuff. But I think, in the end, I think the things that bind England and Italy are actually stronger than whatever bump this will be. And as I said, I think there's so much at stake in terms of, on a bigger level, in terms of sort of trade and other things, that in the end I think there'll be some grubby little compromise. I have some hope there'll be some grubby compromise worked out.
I couldn't vote. This is also another issue I have. I wasn't able to vote. And the reason is because I didn't register to vote back when I lived in the UK, which is almost 10 years ago.
I don't know what's going to happen to us. I read just this morning that there's been some reassurance that we'll be able to stay, but I don't know if that's true, honestly. I don't see that happening. Maybe, I hope so, but if not, that means, in 2 years' time, we're going to have to find a new place to go.
My friends and family split down the middle. My parents voted in, but a lot of people voted out. So, yeah, still huge mixed feelings.
So it's really quite terrifying, really, for me and for the younger generation. So,
yeah, I'm sad. It's true. Sorry. No, I mean, I'm smiling because I'm generally quite a positive person, and there's a tiny part of me that thinks Britain's going to be okay. But when I actually see the comments on the news now and people being interviewed, a guy recently on Channel 4 News saying it's got nothing to do with Europe, it's got nothing to do with economy, it's all about immigration. I voted to stop certain people coming into the country. You see that and you think, oh my God, you literally think this should never have been a people's vote.